This is BBC Radio 2 online, on digital radio and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 9 o'clock on Sunday the 31st of January. Good morning, this is Niki Cardwell. David Cameron will demand swift action to cut in-work benefits to EU migrants when he meets the European Council President Donald Tusk.
A reasonable amount of money to be able to deliver those things.
Some news just in. Sir Terry Wogan, one of the best-loved presenters on Radio 2, has died. He was 77 and had been suffering from cancer. Bob Shannon, the controller of Radio 2, said Terry established himself as one of the greatest and most popular radio hosts this country has ever heard. The governing body for cycling is investigating whether a competitor cheated by using a motor. BBC News, it's 5 minutes past 9.
Hello, this is Mark Goodier with you today on Radio 2 as we remember Sir Terry Wogan, who passed away early this morning. He was one of the foundations on which Radio 2 was built and so much loved. And I'd like to invite you to share your memories of Terry for the next couple of hours as we play some of his favourite music. Eva Cassidy, Over the Rainbow. And if you've tuned in, hoping for love songs, Steve is off today and we've just heard the news. And if you didn't hear the bulletin at 9 o'clock, very sad news received today at Radio 2 that Sir Terry Wogan has passed away peacefully at home with his family in the early hours of this morning. And so instead of love songs, we invite you to share your thoughts and your memories of Sir Terry, who's been such a part of all of our lives for 50 years on BBC Radio and television. Emmylou Harris, another of Sir Terry's favourites, and thank you for your text message and email memories of the great man, Sir Terry, who died earlier this morning. Lynn's in Wickford says, Mark, and referring to Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Eva Cassidy said, well, I can't believe the news, Mark. I knew you'd play this song. I remember Terry playing it when his good friend, producer Paul Walters, died a few years ago. Another sad day. And Terry was so into discovering new music. There are so many artists who can thank him for the start of their careers, and we'll pull out some of those. And if he introduced you to a new artist and they've gone on to become one of your favourites and you've seen them live, please share that story with us. Erica Cromer says, Mark, how sad. When I lived in America, I missed Terry so much my mother sent cassette recordings of his breakfast show. My tape player was a bit fast, so his voice was a little higher than usual, but still a great comfort because I was so homesick. God bless Terry Wogan. Things just won't be the same. From a sad old tog. Share your memories. Share the laughs too, because Wogan on the radio was laughs. Well, in the studio, when the mics weren't on, it was laughs all the time. Much of that stuff unbroadcastable with the jokes you sent into him that he knew he could never put to air. But there were lots of laughs on the air and always great music. It's BBC Radio 2, online on digital radio and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 10 o'clock. This is Niki Cardwell. Sir Terry Wogan, one of the best-loved presenters on Radio 2, has died. He was 77 and his family said he'd fought a short but brave battle with cancer. He was also the voice of Eurovision and, for many years, had been involved in the Children in Need telethon since it began. 6 years ago, Sir Terry said goodbye to his 8 million listeners when he finished presenting The Breakfast Show after 27 years.
Now, I'm not going to pretend that this is not a sad day. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm going to miss the laughter and the fun of our mornings together. I know you're going to welcome Chris Evans with the same generosity of spirit that you've always shown me. So, I'm going to miss you till we're together again in February. Have a happy Christmas. Thank you. Thank you for being my friend.
The BBC's Director General, Tony Hall, said Sir Terry truly was a national treasure and we've lost a wonderful friend. Bob Shannon, the controller of Radio 2, said Terry Wogan had been one of the greatest and most popular radio hosts this country had ever heard.
First and foremost, he was a lovely bloke, and when he walked into a radio studio, he was exactly the same person. He had that gift of just walking into a studio and being the same person that he was outside of it. He was warm, charming, incredibly generous, very popular.